This time we'll call the Finance and Management Committee meeting from March the 16th, 2026 to order. Secretary would call the roll, please.
Hayden.
I'm sorry. Here.
Outlaw.
Here.
Taylor.
Here.
Sanders.
Here.
Epley.
Here.
Riddle.
Here.
Levine.
Here.
Perkins.
Here.
First item tonight is to have a motion for approval of the March 16th, 2026 Finance and Management Committee meeting minutes in the check register for checks number 104603 to 105307. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Councilman Haynes? Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Mr. Outlaw? Questions, comments, corrections? Hearing none, you may cast your vote. And reveal. Motion carries. Thank you. There are no public comments tonight, and there's no old business, so we will move right into new business for the budget presentation tonight. And we'll get started by one, thanking all of our department heads, Mr. Travis, Ms. Dotson, and Ms. Lane for all the work you've done on the budget presentation. We actually have they worked on it most all day today. But a few comments to start with. You know, tonight we're really talking about, what we're really talking about is more than just next year's budget. We're talking about preparing our city for the next generation. The decisions we make now will shape this community as it grows, how we serve our residents, and what kind of city we're going to leave behind. When you look at this budget, it's really easy to focus on the numbers, but behind all those numbers are real decisions about the future of the city. This is about making sure we're planning and staying ready for the changes and improvements that we know are coming to our city. This year's budget has a theme much like the theme when I spoke to the chamber, preparing for generational changes. You know, we can't really predict everything the future has to bring us, but we can try to be prepared. The budget puts us in a position to plant seeds that meet those changes with confidence and hopefully continue to build a city we're proud to pass on to generations to come. So at this time, we'll turn down the lights and we'll start our presentation. You have a booklet in front of you. Is that too dark?
Might have to get me a candle.
You want me to turn it?
No, I'm good. I'm good. All right, if everybody's ready to get started, it'll be at the third page in your book on the PowerPoint. You can see it here on the screen. This budget proposes 71-cent tax rate. It's keeping the current tax rate that we have this year, rolling forward with that next year. You can see our total assessed for 2026 was $824,513,804. The public utilities at $8,600,000. Total assessment $830,613,000. We usually see somewhere between 96 and 97% collection. We like to use that 95% collection as our number most of the time. So that would yield $5,602,490. That puts the value of a penny at $78,909. And then talking about that, we had done some research. We always talked about, we think we have a very fair tax rate compared to cities our size. So we did a comparison. 5 cities smaller than us, 5 cities larger than us. I think we might have got that passed out to you by Ms. Lane a little earlier. And in looking at those cities, we wound up being the 4th lowest out of those 11 cities. I think we come in at 71 cents. Nolensville come in at 34 cents. You know, they're in Williamson County, large tax base there. Goodlettsville, they're in Davidson County. They were 50 cents. And then you see Sevierville in Sevier County. They were 42 cents. And then we fall at 71. So we feel like for the services we provide for our citizens, the amenities that they have, and the amenities that we're hoping to bring to them, we're doing well with what we have. We just wanted to touch on that. Has anybody got any questions on any of that? All right, we'll roll over to the next page, start talking about revenue sources. This is nothing new. You hear us every year tell you. Sales tax is our main revenue source here in the city of Dickson. Our property tax, you see it falling there at 18%, under 20% at $5,947,000. That includes current property tax, the late property tax, interest and penalties. That's why that number's a little different than the other ones you see. You see our grants are at 15%, $5,120,000. We like to go out for the grants. Our people work hard on getting us grants. Anytime we can match our money with some from state and federal money, we like to do that. See our hotel motel tax, beer and alcohol pilots account for roughly 12%. Other sources of income are reimbursements from other municipalities and things around, those type of things, come in at $4,846,000. Like I said, you can see our sales tax there at 41%, so it's the driving force behind the city of Dickson. We'll go to the next page. We're going to touch on the fund balance. We'll go back to 2022, 2023 budget year. That year, it was projected that we would end that year with $15 million in the fund balance. The actual amount we ended with was $21,500,000. The next year, you can see we predicted $19,500,000. We wound up at $23,174,000. Then $18,410,000. We ended up at $24,206,000. This year, we're projected to end with $21,307,000. The estimated as of today, with our financial reports, looks like we're going to end up somewhere around $25,806,000. We wanted to show you that pretty much every year we have said we're going to have to take some from fund balance. This is to show you that we're conservative on the safe side. Our department heads, all of our staff, we try to do a good job of minding the money throughout the year. Just because it was allotted don't mean we try to spend it. So that's just to show you that. In the end of 26, 27, we're projecting to be at $18,432,000. That's spending $7,373,000 out of fund balance this year. The majority of that, and you'll see it later on in the slide, the majority of that is due to some capital projects. We've got some large projects that are going to take place in this budget year. We've got Buckner Park. That's a $5.6 million project with a $1.8 million grant, so almost $4 million of that 7 is right there. So, but we'll touch on that later on. You can see there, as the comptroller states, and you heard our auditor, Mr. Woods, when he was here, talk about it. $41,686,000 is our proposed operating budget this year. 25% of that is what the comptroller recommends to be considered safe, and we're at that would be $10,421,748. So even if we spent the $7 million out of fund balance, we would still come in at almost double that. So we still feel that we'd be in a very safe position and not put our city in any jeopardy. We can go to the next page. The next page here shows you personnel expenses. That's one of our largest expenses is our people. Other than our capital projects, personnel comes in second. If you look there, all those categories on the right, the salaries, the overtime, longevity, retirement, all those benefits, uniforms, recruitment, retention, training, all those things added together is what you're seeing in this chart. You're seeing the police department comes in there at $1.2 million. That's up close to $100,000 from last year. That's due to raises, promotions, those type things. Oh, excuse me, I missed that in there. That was general fund. Police Department is $6,808,707. That's actually down a little bit, and the reason that's down is due to there were some items that were being double accounted for in the budget, some recruitment retention and some reimbursements, some salary supplements. They were going into the salaries, and they were also another line item down the list, so we separated those out, and that's what makes that discrepancy up there. Communications, you're looking at those going to 1.89. That's an increase of 240,000 roughly. That's due to raises, and we're also asking to hire 2 more employees to help staff, as Chief Lyles is wanting to swap those employees over to a 12-hour shift, and that would require 2 more employees to do. We hope that makes a dent into the overtime, the call-outs, and those type things. So that's our intent there, is to add 2 employees. So that's why you see such a big jump in that line item. Fire department, it's coming from 5.9 up to 6.352, 435,000, mostly due to salaries, promotions, those type things. Public Works, you see the same thing, it's going up 112,000. Senior Center, decreasing around 16,000. Just, again, that was just trying to line up things with what we're seeing in the budget this year. I think we might have over budgeted a little last year, so we're getting that caught up. Planning and zoning's up 14,000. Municipal court's up roughly 2,400. We're proposing this year, all the employees get a $2,080 a year raise. Basing our average salary, we tried to fall somewhere in the 3.5% to 4%, which is what we're seeing the cost of living going up. So we come up with that number instead of a percentage raise. Doing the percentage raise, the higher up on the scale gets a much larger number than the small folks. So your starting pay doesn't keep up. You fall behind, and your administrative pay runs away. So we felt like doing a dollar figure across the board made more sense. You see that ranges from some of our entry-level positions is going up 5.5%. Some of our upper management positions is only getting a 2% increase. So we just felt like that was a good way to try to spread it across the board. Any questions about any of that? All right, if there's no questions, we'll roll on. As you can see, we just talked about the personnel expenses. If you pull that 41 million, you take the 14 million or so we've got in capital expenses as far as projects and purchases out. Personnel makes up for 76% of the rest of that budget. So you're talking roughly 27 million without the projects, and personnel is 76% of that. The other operating expenses, of course, utilities and insurances and fuel and telephone bills and things like that. So, all right, we'll go to the next page. This is our departmental expenses. As you can see, the large jumps in the general fund, and once again, that goes back to the projects. And when I say projects, we're talking Buckner Park, we're talking the 2 traffic signals, we're talking the multimodal on College Street, we're talking the 2 TAP grants downtown, and we're talking about funding all the design projects that we just brought to you at the last meeting with our architects for the 3 big projects. And this also includes money for the War Memorial Building repairs that we had discussed in the past. That's that large $6,700,000 that you see increase there is due to those projects. You can roll down through there. The rest of the departments, police department coming in 120,000, communications 230. Again, adding some employees there. Fire department 383 overall. Public Works 437,000 overall. Senior Center down a little bit there, and like I said, that was due to some adjustments we made to some of the salary lines and other items. Planning and zoning's up 71,435. You'll see in a little bit, most of that's going to be for a new pickup truck. And then municipal court's down 26,219. We're seeing some savings in that municipal court and that police department right now, because if you didn't know, our police department and our courts have already moved. Those two people are sharing another building. It's a much smaller building than they were used to sharing. So we feel like the utilities are going to be much cheaper, building expenses, other types of that's going to be more affordable and a lot cheaper in the next year. So we can probably look forward to that for the next 18 months, 24 months. So be a little savings there. We can go to the next page. Here you'll see our proposed capital purchases by the department. Chief Lyles asked for 4 patrol cars. We wound up going with 3 and a SWAT van. They need a new SWAT van. Currently, we're using an old ambulance that we've painted black that just don't suit the purposes of the SWAT team anymore. This is an outfitted van so they can put all their gear inside, and they get the running boards so they can ride on the sides. Both of those are being funded from the drug fund. You'll see our public works department's asking for a milling machine that goes on the front of a skid steer, a snow plow for a 3500 truck that we currently own, a new garbage truck. One of our garbage trucks are getting old and starting to cost us a little more money on the maintenance part of it, so it's time to cycle that out. Our car containers are going to be a constant, somewhere around that $21,000 a year. I think that gets us roughly 300 cans. Some of those cans have been going since '07, so I mean, we've got 17, 18 years out of some of those cans. So, an enclosed storage trailer, that's going to be for the Parks Division. They have a lot of items that they move around from Hensley Park to downtown, back and forth. So instead of putting them in a storage building, we're going to put them in a trailer so they can just hook to it and haul it around. 2 zero-turn mowers, those will be swapping out for 2 older ones. Half-ton pickup truck, we're going to be replacing a 2001 F-150, I believe, with that one. $500,000 in there for roadway maintenance, and it would include any paving, anything like that we do. A lot of our streets are in really good shape now. We do have a couple projects that we might bid out separate than that. We're collecting some data on Beasley Drive over here now to fix the bumps down at the bottom, close to 48 when you get down there. Everybody's felt those. We've had some wells going on down there, so they're doing some testing on the geological part of that to see what we need to do to fix those. A single axle dump truck with a snow plow. After Snowmageddon back in January, we looked into, we're going to replace 2 of our single axle dump trucks that we use now with one, this truck. We can use it year round, and then it'll be outfitted for in the winter. It'll actually have the belly blade on it that you can put some downforce and actually do some scraping and use it as a salt truck. So it'll be a dual purpose vehicle. It won't be single snow plow only. You see another half-ton pickup truck there. That first one probably is coming out of state street aid, or vice versa. The second one's coming out of state street aid now that I can see it. Commercial ovens at the senior center. We put that in the budget last year. I wasn't sold that we needed new ovens because they were pretty new, but after Joan and the cook showing us that they just didn't work, we went over and we've had the gas department out and looked at them. They won't stay consistent. We've reached out to the person that installed them, the person we bought them from, and they just don't do the job. Some days it might take 2 hours to cook chicken. Some days it might take 4. Some days it might take 30 minutes. So we're going to get them some new ovens. They serve a ton of people over there every day, provide a great service, so we want to get them some good equipment. And then you see our planning and zoning. We're going to get a pickup truck there too, just to replace the fleet. We'll be passing down some vehicles. We can use a couple of those other vehicles that they have in some other departments. Our IT guy needs a car to drive, our stormwater guy. Those departments utilize a lot of the passed down vehicles from the other departments because they don't get driven a ton, pardon me. You see communications and fire, no capital purchases asked for. So we'll go on to the capital projects. That's the big one. As you can see there, we discussed Buckner Park, $5.6 million. I think that's in review right now, I think is what we just heard. We've been working on doing some value engineering on that. I think that's down to about where we think it's going to land. We did get the LPRF grant on that, so we'll get, that says 1.5, but it's actually 1.85, I believe is what we're left on that grant for us to get back. So I believe that leaves a net of like $3.8 million that we would be responsible for. And you'll see that again later on. West College Street, 1,222,400. The 2 traffic lights at 1.2 million. Downtown Phase 6 and 7, 1,329,540. And we feel comfortable we'll get Buckner Park done in this budget. We feel comfortable we'll have at least Phase 1 done in College Street in this budget, but they're all going to be running real close to ending up there around the summer of that 27, 28. So we're not sure if it would fall in this one or if it would fall in the next one. So we went ahead and budgeted for them in this one. So that goes back to those fund balance figures I was talking about earlier. We've budgeted for it in this one, but we might not get to it. But for safety, we went ahead and put them in there. And then our project designs and fees for the 3 big projects there, $482,000 for the senior center left, $1,060,443 for the aquatic center left, $246,200 for the fire station, and $1,043,200, and that includes the design and the construction on the War Memorial Building. The thing's been having water damage for years. We've got some architects looking at trying to figure out how to stop that. When that building was built, it was never designed to be air conditioned, so has a lot of trouble with humidity and moisture, especially down in the basement area. Those outside walls really sweat a lot and cause some humidity issues. So we're working on repairing those. We think that building is an asset to the community and a sign of stableness downtown, and we want to keep that. So we felt like it was worth spending that money for that. We can go to the next page. And as you'll see there's some photos. You've seen most of these, and all these are is touching on those last projects we just talked about. The Buckner Park Phase 2, it's 4 ball fields, three ball fields, right? Three ball fields, a new concession stand, parking areas, batting cage facility, playgrounds, all down in the place where Field 1 used to be. That area where Field 1 was, that parking lot where the old swimming pool was, that area there is what is considered in Phase 2. Phase 1's open and going, and from working out there from 1995 to current, that place gets more use now than it ever has. It's busy every afternoon. The College Street Phase 1 and 2, there you can see we think we'll have 1 done in this budget year for sure. We're thinking the Phase 2 might fall kind of across 2 budget years, maybe some of this year and some of next year. The ITS traffic lights, same scenario. We think we can get both of those done hopefully in this budget year. And then your downtown Phase 6 and 7, we're comfortable that Phase 7 is probably going to push into 27, 28, but we went ahead and put the money in this one just in case we get into construction before then. Any questions about any of the projects or any of those past slides?
For West College Street and the downtown improvements, don't we have grants?
We do. Some of that money's coming back in grants. I don't have those figures with me. I can get you those, but like, what is the TAP grant usually? 90?
80-20.
80-20.
80-20 is typically the TAP grants. I want to say the multimodals on West College were 95-5.
I think the first one was
Phase 1 was
90-10.
90-10, and the second was 95-5. So some of those dollars that you see budgeted for those 4 projects right there, we will be getting back in grant money.
In the actual Excel document in the back that shows all the numbers, you can see there like the Buckner Park line item, the TAP grant line item, we expect to get back $985,000 of that. Will be our revenue from there. So you can see those numbers in the back there. Anything else on those?
All of those projects there, were there grants on the traffic signals?
It's
So all
SDBG
4 of those
yes.
projects have grant dollars coming back.
They're all just so much more expensive than the grants cover now. The 80-20 is still good, but it's 80-20 up to an approved amount through them, and then it goes above that. It's on us, just like with the LPRF grant. And the TAP grant doesn't cover engineering and design, only construction on those and construction CEI services. So. And
if you remember, well, it's got up there, you can see what Phase 6 and Phase 7 are. on the TAP grant projects. Number 4 there, you can see where those projects are.
All right, no other questions? Well,
And the holdup there has been the state. TDOT has been the holdup because they'll look at our design and say, all of a sudden they'll say, well, we want to see this looked at. We'll send that back, and then they'll come back and say they want to see something else. We'll send that back, and then they want to see something else, instead of telling us on the front end everything they want to see. So it's been held up by TDOT now for over a year and a half.
all these projects, any project with grant dollars and state funded seem to drag out 3 times longer than it should. I believe in my heart some of that's for the state to build the money up. They promised it out, and it takes them a couple of years to build it up before they can actually expend it. So I just think that's why they slow roll us on some of these projects. But who knows, at the end, we've been blessed at the end. There's been a couple of TAP projects that they've called and said, hey, we've got $300,000 left over that somebody else didn't spend, and we get it. So sometimes it taking a little while is a blessing. So, and we'll take any grant dollars we can get. If we're done with that, we'll roll into long-term debt. I know that's a question a lot of people's had here lately. You can look at our long-term debt here. Where you see this balance owed column, that's what we will owe July 1st of 2026. That's what we'll owe moving forward. That doesn't account for any payments that's made between now and then. We're paid up, and this is what we'll owe. We paid one off. Actually, I did the wire transfer on it today, so it's paid off. That was our first one. We've got another one here that'll be paid off May of 28. We owe $229 on it. Our 2007, we owe $141 on that. We've got a 2010. We owe $235. The 2016, $2.3 million roughly. The 2020, $3.5 million. Then you've got $386,000. The 2024 at 1.5, and the other 2024 at 1.507.
And remember, the 2022 and the first 2024 are lease payments on, both on fire.
Fire, yeah.
One's on the Quint, and
One's on the engine and one is on the Quint and engine together. 3 separate vehicles.
For total indebtedness of $9,718,389. Debt service on that this next year will be around 1.066, give or take a little bit. There's a lot of options to talk about later on in this chart, and we'll move to the next page, and that'll give us a little bit. I'm sure all of you've noticed that there was actually no funding for the construction of any of these 3 projects in our budget. Me and the mayor discussed, and the other staff discussed, felt like it was the best path was to get an operating budget approved and register with the comptroller and go and be working. There's so many different factors and ways we can get these projects financed. We're still, every day, we're getting notices of people wanting to donate money to the projects, so that's moving around. We're still value engineering the projects, so those numbers are still moving around drastically. The chief and some of his staff just took a swing at Fire Hall 2 to cut a little cost out of that, so we're still moving with all those. We don't know if we're going to borrow all the money at once, borrow the money in 2 separate issues. That's another thing we're still contemplating. In the last couple of weeks, the Tennessee Municipal Bond Fund came to us and said that they would be interested in giving us a quote on some of these instead of going straight to the market. So,
and they had actually told us on the front end that it was more than they like to do, but now they've come back and said they would be interested in looking at those projects. So we've got some decisions to make there on whether it's worth our while to maybe move to the bond fund and not go to the bond market, or to stay with the bond market and not go through PP or TMBF.
Currently, I believe right now, currently, we're around 32 million on the city center. Y'all got an update here a couple of weeks ago. I believe we're around 28 million on the aquatic center. So that's 60. If we decided we weren't going to pay ourselves back out of fund balance for any of the costs we've incurred up to, and we decided we could fund the fire hall out of reserves, because as I said, we're going to be selling this building. We feel like this building's bringing 2.5 to 2,750. We're going to get some money from our partners with the aquatic center when they sell their building. We've heard of some donations that's coming around that could possibly materialize on that. So there's a ton of different scenarios, and without having some more information, I didn't feel comfortable presenting any one scenario to you. So that's where we're at with that. This after we get this budget passed and we're working, we'll be coming back to you in July, maybe August, and start working through those plans to move forward. If we wanted to make one issue and go ahead and get one project started, we feel like one of them's going to be dragging a couple months behind. So that's where we'll be at. Any questions about any of that? Anybody want to discuss any of that?
I do have a question. How many years do you think it'd take to pay back $70 million?
We'll do it for 30 years.
You pay back in 30 years?
Yes, sir. Debt service on that in 30 years would be 4.2 million a year.
What was the construction cost on the fire hall too?
The last estimate we got was close to 9 million, I believe, but there was a ton of concrete around that. There was a lot of programming we didn't need. We feel like we're going to try to trim that back down to the $6.5 to $7 million mark with some value engineering. We're going to take some concrete out of the site, do some different things there. A big topic about that fire hall is it will have a training facility attached to it. That training facility is probably going to account for $1.5 to $2 million of the total project. That's not anything we have to do. So if it comes down to it and we say, hey, we don't want to do that, we don't want to do that. But Chief Greer and former Assistant Chief Sessler, we've been working on that for 4 or 5 years. We looked at building one out at back of Buckner Park. We've looked at a couple different options. I think the Buckner Park option there at one time, I think the road was going to cost roughly $2.5 million to get a road built back to where we wanted to put it. We had to cross some pretty swampy spots, put some box bridges in and things. So currently our department goes to Ashland City and trains a lot. So that means that our equipment and our people are driving back and forth to Ashland City. So we're putting miles on our stuff, wearing it out. We're sending people to Ashland City on their days off so they can train and different things. So if we could get a training facility here in Dickson, those people would come to us to train first of all. So, we could do some things there, but it keeps our people here and saves us some money and has a better trained department. So that's why we feel it's important to leave that attached. But like I said, once we get down to it, and if we decide, it's more than we want to take on, we'll have that property. It'll be laid out for it. It might be something we do in the future.
We may have to phase that.
That's been discussed. We're still not 100% sure what we do with the old Station 2 once we build a new one. There's been discussion of that, selling that property. We don't think it's worth a whole lot. We feel like we might be better off to keep that property and use it as a south precinct for the police or some kind of type of training facility for police officers or something like that, since it's out close to the interstate. Give them a place to be also. So there's some options there, but if we were to sell it, that money might offset some of this cost. So. Anything else? And in saying that, as the mayor started with, this budget, we feel like this budget puts us in a good position to meet changes in the future with confidence, continue building a city that we can all be proud of and pass on to the next generation. This is our budget. This is what we presented to you. This is what we feel comfortable with, and we're more than glad to entertain any questions you all have or any suggestions you all have or discuss anything we can further if need be. And if you find anything later on this week while you're reviewing, don't be scared to send us over a call or email, and we'll try to get you some information back, explain it to you the best we can, and if not, July or June 1st, We'll be coming back asking to pass the budget.
If you have any questions after you have time to go home and peruse this, and if you want to sit down and talk to myself about it, if you want to sit down and talk to Mr. Travis about it, please don't hesitate to reach out. We will make the time to do that. That's not a problem whatsoever. So, we'll be glad to do that with any of you.
In years past, we had budgeted $1 million for road maintenance. I know last year, I think it was 500,000 also. Are we just
I
caught
think last year we
up,
dropped it
or-
to 750.
Last
Was
year,
it
I believe.
750?
Yeah, I think last year we dropped it to 750, including the engineering fees that we're using now, so.
Do we just,
We've caught up so much from where we were on that, because we started doing the million back in 2010, 11, 12, somewhere in there. And, we've caught up a lot on our paving since we've started contracting it out. So we feel comfortable now that we can drop that a little bit. And, and you gotta remember, they can only do so much a year anyway.
yeah.
So there's been some years where they've actually not even spent the million, but then there was a couple of years where we did like 1.7, 1.8. We actually came back and amended the budget because we did more than $1 million in paving. Any other questions? Okay, thank you for. Oh, I'm sorry, Kimmy, I should have got those. All right, let's see, I don't have anybody else have any other business? If not, under the new rules that the state is requiring, I have to ask, are there any open public comments tonight? Okay, hearing none, we will adjourn.